Good morning. We are here at Fidelco's training center this morning, about ready to do some yoga with you. Shout out to all of our Thursday night yoga crew. Glad you're practicing out there with us today. We miss practicing in person. This is TAO dog yoga, where you practice yoga with your dog. So for some of you out there, you've done this with me a bunch of times, so you can just roll out your mat, get going. For those of you that are new, we encourage you just to have the experience. So try the yoga, bring your dog with you, and we'll coach you through the practice and what to do with your dog, but really letting go of expectations and just trying to have this experience for the next hour or so with your dog. All right, let's get started. Come to your comfortable seat on your mat. And that may look different for each of you. So you may sit cross-legged, you may sit, kind of kneeling with your heels underneath. And let yourself settle in. Right? Starting to let go of your morning. Maybe this is the first thing you did. You rolled out of bed and you're with us this morning. Yeah, all right. And some of you have been up buzzing around doing stuff, right? So, you kind of have this morning energy, this little bit of a little buzz going on because you're active and busy. So just notice how you've arrived to your mat. And meeting yourself where you're at this morning. Right? So if you have lots of energy, let that come out in your practice. And if you need this more as a wake up this morning, maybe your movements are a little slower. Just meeting yourself exactly where you're at. Notice what your dog is doing, right? If they're making noise, maybe they're whining a little, or if your dog's panting, or your dog's a little silly because you're seated and wondering what's happening next. Right? You're not worrying about changing that too much at this point. As we practice, if your dog gets up, you'll just ask your dog to lay down. You can use treats to lure your dog into a down. And if you don't need the treats, don't use them, right? Just ask your dog to lay down next to you as you move. Start to breathe. Take a breath in and empty it out. Do that again, even bigger. Inhale. Exhale. Another. In. And out. Let your eyes close. Notice where your dog is in space. Notice the connection you have with your dog, even though your eyes are closed. You're not making eye contact. Right? You're really just listening to what your dog is doing. Notice if your dog got up. Right? Dogs are opportunists, so sometimes you're not paying attention, your eyes are closed, and they're like, now's my time to go get up and go say hi to the dog next to me. Right? And if that happens, you just open your eyes, ask your dog to lay down, and then close your eyes again. And bring one hand over your heart, one hand to your dog. Set your intention for your practice this morning. And then release your hands. We're going to slowly stand up and find ragdoll or forward fold at the back of your mat. So moving slowly, you may hold on to your leash. And those of you that are at home, you may have your dog on a leash or off leash. If you're finding your dog's really wandering around your house and kind of getting really busy and active, you may want to take a 6-foot leash, put it on your dog, and follow us where we hang on to our leashes and have our dogs really, really close. That takes away some of the options for your dog to wander off. So stepping to the back of your mat, fold down, let your upper body hang. Bring a big bend to your knees. And let's take a gentle rock from side to side so your upper body's just swaying back and forth. Back and forth. And just notice your feet. Feel your feet grounding down. And let your toes be light. Yeah. Good. Here the dogs are all like, we're moving already. They're up, right? Most of us here are hanging on to our leashes. It's very normal at the beginning of class. Good. Take a big breath in. Exhale it all out. Let's take a halfway lift. A long spine. Breath in. Forward fold. Rise tall. Reach up. Bring your hands together. Interlace your fingers. And then steeple your pointer fingers together. Start to reach up and away. We'll take a breath in. And then exhale. Drop over to the right. Good. Another breath. Reach up and away. And then exhale. Maybe you go a little bit more. Come back through center. Breath in. And then exhale. Go the other way. Good. Another breath. Reach long. Exhale. Maybe you start to lift and twist open a bit. Good. Come back to center. Release your hands down. Take a breath in. Reach up. Exhale. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Really, really long here. And then exhale. Fold down. Rise tall. Reach up. Fold. Halfway lifts. Walk out to high plank. So if your dog is in the way, you may hover over your dog. Yeah, like that, Sarah. Good. Right? We're just happy they're laying there. They're still. Good. Your knees can be up or down. Right? Lower all the way down to your mat. If you can't lower, you're just going to lift your heart and come right into up dog. So either you lower down, and then lift your heart. There's a little extra challenge there, Chris, right? Press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And empty it out. Good. Step to the top of your mat. And we'll meet in a fold. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise tall, reach up. Forward folds. Halfway lift. High plank. Pressing your hands down. Really, really getting strong in your foundation. You're on the balls of your feet and then start to press your heels back. Reaching out through the crown of your head so the top of your head is reaching long. Good. Take a breath in. Press back to downward facing dog. Hips go high. Heels start to reach down. Yeah, that's it. Good. Take another breath here. And out. Good. Lift your right leg high. Bend your knee and open your hip up. Let's take some hip circles here. So you choose one direction, and you may start small. And then the circles can get a little bit bigger. Yeah, go the other way. Send your leg long behind you. Reach back. Step your right foot between your hands. Low runner's lunge. Let's come into track star. So for track star, you're moving back and forth. You're bending one knee and then straightening the other, and then switching sides. Really working into your hips, right? A little bit of a warm-up here. You know, and as we started at the beginning of class, you might move fast. You have lots of energy. You're like, I'm ready, let's keep moving. Or it might be nice and slow. Back and forth. Good, your hands come to frame the front of your foot. Good, take a breath in, lift your heart. And then exhale, straighten your front leg and fold down. inhale brings you forward. Good, and then plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Empty it out. Lift your left leg. And before you start to bend, let's reach really, really long here. So start pressing out through your heel. Your leg is strong. Hands are anchoring down, and you're lifting your hips up even more. Good, now bend your knee, open your hip up, and start with your circles. One direction, and then go the other way. Good, reach your leg long behind you. Step through, low runner's lunge. Track star, back and forth. Good. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Frame your foot. One hand on each side. Right here, anchor down through your legs. And so start pressing down. Good. Engage your core a bit. Come up onto your fingertips. Breath in. Lift your heart. Really long spine. And then as you exhale, straighten your front leg and fold. Inhale, come forward. Big bend. Lift your heart. Step back to downward facing dog. Breath in. Let it out. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise up, reach. Chair pose, sink down. Good, big bend in your knees. And start to squeeze your legs towards each other. Right? Draw your lower belly in, your core is engaged, arms reach up, take a breath, and then exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Good, another breath in. Exhale, go low. Good, one more breath here, fill up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, fold down. Rise tall, come up. Fold. Halfway lift, find downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high behind you, bend your knee, open your hip. Take a big step, your foot lands in between your hands for warrior one. Feet land, drop your back heel, good, and then arms reach up tall. Good, and then start to rotate your hips towards the front of your mat. Yeah, you may need to lift your back heel and rotate your foot just a little bit. Good, now open up to warrior two. Hips open to the side of your mat. Big bend in your front knee. Good, and then reverse your warrior. Left hand down, right arm up. Good, let's find side angle. Forearm comes to your thigh, and you reach forward, opening up the left side of your body. Reverse, go back. This time we'll come forward. Lift your back heel. Let's find crescent lunge. Back heel lifts. All of your toes are facing forward. Good. Playing with your balance here. There's a little wobble. All right. Arms go up. Good. Bring your hands to heart center. And then you're going to twist to the right. Open up to revolve. So your arms open wide. Legs stay where they are. Twist. Good. Come back to center. Hands land in front of your heart. Reach up. Take a breath in. Find downward facing dog. Good. Breathe. Empty. Good. Step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Sink low for chair pose. Go to your lowest point. Right? Get as low as you can in your legs so your hips are sitting back. Yeah, you're going to feel your thighs fire up. You're doing it. You're doing it right. If you feel your legs really coming alive here, maybe your toes lift just a little bit. Lots of energy. Good. One more breath in. Fold down. Halfway lift, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Bend, stack, open your hip. Maybe you start to open up even more. Bring a little bit of your rib cage into it. Your whole body is twisting. Yes, that's it. Step your foot between your hands, warrior one. Arms come up. Hips are facing the front of your mat. And open up to warrior two. Right hand drops, left hand goes up, reverse. Bring your forearm to your thigh. Reach towards the front of the room. Reverse, you go back. Good, this time you'll lift your back heel, find crescent lunge. Your hips turn forward towards the front of your mat. Your back heel lifts. Arms reach up. Really sinking into your legs here. Use that foundation. Now your legs don't move, your legs stay. Hands come to heart center. You're gonna twist left. So just your upper body is twisting. Arms go long, reach. Yeah, keep twisting, finding length. Take a breath in, ring out a little bit more. Oh, so good. Bring your hands back to heart center. Good, come back to the front. Reach your arms high. High plank. Knees can be up or down. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Hands walk back. Fold. Rise tall. Reach up. Arms go long. Hands come to heart center. We'll find tree on the right. You have a couple options. You have kickstand where your foot is anchored. And then if that's feeling good, you can transition and bring your foot up onto your calf. Or if you'd like to self-assist, you can bring your foot all the way up to your thigh. You just want to skip your knee, right? So foot can be anywhere, just not on your knee joint. Good, and once you're there, start pressing your foot into your standing leg. And then engage your core. Arms reach up. Keep lifting up and away. Good, right? If you're standing on your leash, there's extra balance, right? Because Tori's moving and your leash is moving. Good, such great work. All right, lock your gaze on something on the wall in front of you, right? Just a little focal point. I like to look up. Brings your energy up. Good. Now look straight out in front of you. You're going to extend your right leg forward, flexing your foot. Let's take little pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Going to step forward for airplane. Your right foot lands. Arms sweep down, palms face down. Back leg lifts. You might be 2 inches off or like feet off, right? Start reaching your heart space forward here. And think of pressing down into your hands and lifting up and away. Step back, crescent lunge. Hands come to heart center. Take a breath. All right, twist right. Open up, revolved crescent. Take a breath. Exhale, flip it around, warrior 2 to the other side. Reverse your warrior. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. We'll meet at the back of our mats. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise up. We'll take tree on the left side. So deciding where your foot is going to land. And then once you have your foot situated, find that focal point. Right? Find a place to look at that's still, that's not moving. And then your arms can come up. Good, let's play with this here. See if your gaze can go up. a little bit towards the ceiling. And as your gaze goes up, maybe your heart lifts a little bit more. Yeah, start to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Shoulders are reaching back. Good. Bring your gaze directly in front of you. Extend your left foot out. Press out through your heel, and we'll do some pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it there. Step forward. Right foot lifts, airplane. Right, you're still finding a place to lock your gaze. Yeah. So good. Notice if you're holding your breath, right? Come back to your breath and start to reach your hands back toward the wall behind you, and your foot reaches back. Yes, I love that, Chris. You're pressing out through your heel, so much energy. Right, step back, crescent lunge. Your heel lifts. Hands come to heart center. Just take a breath. Legs stick. You're going to twist left. Arms open up long. Breath in. As you exhale, see if you can sink a little more. That's it. Another breath. Exhale, ring out. All right, one more breath here. Open up, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Let's find downward facing dog. Press back. Breath in. Let it out. Good, another breath. Empty it out. Shift forward to high plank. Knees can be down or up. You're still working here. Draw your core in. Everything's drawing in to the midline. Good. So if you're shaking, right? You're shaking. It's working. There's so much effort happening here. Big breath. Exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. You can release your hands out. Your head can turn to one side. So here in class, the dogs are starting to settle quite a bit this morning, right? There's a little bit of getting up and down, a little bit of movement, but overall, it's pretty quiet this morning here. So at home, your dog may be getting up and down. And if that's the case, that's absolutely fine, right? Especially if it's your first class. Or if you haven't practiced with us in a while, your dog is like, what? I haven't done this for a month or 2. Right? So just noticing where your dog's at this point in practice. And if your dog has been getting up, you just ask them to lay down. All right, let's set up for locust. So you can take your hands and interlace them behind your back. Other option is to reach your hands directly behind you. If interlacing is a little bit tough on your shoulders, it doesn't feel right in your shoulders. All right, I want you to start to squeeze behind your shoulder blades. Yeah, and then if you're interlacing your hands, use that. Squeeze your grip and start pulling your arms back behind you. Your heart is going to start to lift. Yeah, then engage the back of your body. It's always more challenging if a dog is like sitting on you, right? So, keep reaching everything back. Back of your body is strong. Take a breath in and see if you can lift up a little bit more. Come up. Yeah. All right, lower yourself down. Rest your body. Really resting in between. All right, letting your body soften. And we'll come into that a second time. So set your arms up. Next breath in, lift everything off your mat. Good, so you're peeling your upper body off. You're lifting, even your thighs, I see you. Like your thighs are off of your mat, so strong. Lift your right foot up an inch, and then keep it there, and then meet your left there. Oh, so much height. All right, lower down. Good work. Good. Let's press back to child's pose. Moving really slowly. Yeah, moving nice and slow. Sometimes when you move and transition on your mat, your dog will notice that shift and their energy will come up. So sometimes shifting back to child, your dog might pop up and stand up and be like, where are you going? Right? So if your dog gets up, you're just going to ask your dog to lay back down. You have Tori here. So it's just using a treat here and there and just helping her to get closer and to come back to her mat. Got a gentle little rock in your hips. Release your lower back. All right. We'll find tabletop or downward facing dog. All right, together, let's take a breath in and empty it out. Big breath in. This time you'll exhale. Bring a big bend to your knees, and we're going to jump through to boat. Or you can walk through. So you're going to walk your feet in between your hands and come on to your sits bones. Seated. Good. One boat, just one boat this morning. So you're going to hang on behind your knees. Lift your heart up. Your spine is getting really long. And then engage your core. Dublin's licking your feet. Right? So it's hard. You're in this really challenging boat and your dog is licking your feet. It's like, you can't help but laugh. All right. Good. Let go of your hands. Maybe you straighten your legs. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, rest. Lower all the way down onto your back. Send your legs up high. So your legs are going to come to a 90-degree angle. You're pressing out through your heels. And your legs can be straight or slightly bent here. Whatever feels right in your lower back and in your body. Good. So we're just going to take a moment and get our dogs back and down here in class. And notice, right? Like my voice, my energy changed, our energy, we're laughing a bit, and some of these guys are like, yeah, like I like that upbeat energy. So right, they kind of get busier, they're moving around, they're not as settled. Right. So your legs are reaching up, and then you're going to take your arms up in front of you, reach up, interlace your hands, and then your 2 pointer fingers are going to reach up towards the ceiling. All right, really active legs. Keep pressing out through your heels. We're going to do little pulses with your upper body. Up for 10, up for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Go to the right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're cooking. Go left. You're almost there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You've got this. Last 10 to the center. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Oh, rest. Rest, 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 rest. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And if this feels right, you can come into Supta Baddha Konasana where your feet come together and your knees come out. Yeah. And just feel your heart beating. Feel your breath. And usually it's after core exercises that when we say rest, it's like, yeah, now is when I'm going to rest. Like, yeah, I just worked really, really hard. So really let yourself have that. Let yourself have this little break. Finding your breath again. Take your hands to the outside of your knees, scoop your knees in, and then start to rock and roll front to back. Right, you may want to remind your dog to stay as you start to move. Yeah, I think that's helpful if your dog knows to stay. All right, and you're gonna rock and roll, get some momentum, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. So you may wanna get some momentum, cross your ankles, and then you send them back. Or roll yourself over, any way that you wanna get there. Lift your right leg high behind you. Bend your knee, open your hip up. See if you can get a little more opening now that you're warm. Yeah. Step your right foot between your hands. Low runner's lunge. All right, let's come up to a crescent lunge. So really ground down in your legs, and you're gonna rise tall, reach up. Good, and then you're gonna step your back foot forward and straighten your front leg. Yeah, so it's a little bit of an adjustment, a little step forward. We're gonna come into pyramid pose. So for pyramid, your toes are all facing forward, just like you were in your crescent lunge. And notice if your feet are really close, like they're almost in front of each other. Step your feet out about hip distance apart, really creating a stable foundation and base in your body. Start to draw your right hip back, left hip comes forward. And just feel that shift in your hips and your front leg. All right, arms reach up. Good, and then you'll start to reach forward. You're gonna notice you engage your core, draw your core in and up. Reach as far as you can. And then your hands can lower down, your hands can come to your shin. Maybe they're at your thigh or reaching down towards the ground. Dropping your upper body, right? So you may have that little small bend in your front knee. And notice if you add that little bend into your front knee, if you can drop down even more with your upper body. That's great, Chelsea. Good, and notice if you're holding on. If you're holding on somewhere, maybe it's your breath. Come back to your breath. Maybe it's in your neck, right? Let your head get heavy. Good, and keep thinking of drawing your right hip back, left hip forward. All right, one more breath here. In. And out. Bring a bend to your front knee. Find downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip up. Step through for crescent lunge. Good, your hips are facing towards the front of your mat. Good, and then you're gonna bring a bigger bend to your front knee and then step your back foot up just a little bit. Good. Feet step apart, hip distance. Right, and all those little details, this time your left hip is gonna roll back, right hip forward. Your toes are all facing in the front. And I'd step a little wider. So Chris, I'd step your feet out. Yeah, really nice base. All right, bring your hands to your heart. Good, take a breath. And as you exhale, start to come forward. Lead with your heart space, long spine. Good, and then release your hands down. So your pyramid on the left. Right, notice the effort in your body. Notice if you're making this harder than it needs to be. Right, sometimes we get to this point and we just add more work. You know, in the beginning when you're doing a lot of the standing postures and poses, and you're doing that core, it is work. It's a lot of effort on your body. But notice if you're still hanging on to that. If you can let that go a little, find a little ease, a little softness. And that may be making little shifts in your body, little adjustments. Good. Shift your hips forward. Bring a bend to your front knee. Good. Step back to downward facing dog. Drop your knees down and we'll meet in tabletop. In tabletop position, and then walk your hands back, and then come onto your heels for a moment. We're going to come into camel pose. So you'll shift up onto your knees, and then you'll take your hands right behind your back, so along your spine, there's muscle on either side, and you're going to bring your thumbs right to either side along your spine, and then your fingers wrap around the sides of your waist and your hips. Start to press down into your shins, right in the tops of your feet. You're going to feel your knees connect down. Good. And then as you're pressing down, you're going to start to lift your rib cage up and away from your hips. Start drawing your elbows together. Now press down into your hands, lift your heart up. Yeah, and then maybe your gaze goes up and you can start to go back. But you can stay here, or you want to reach back and grab onto your heels. Keep pressing your heart space up and away. Gaze can go up, or you can drop your head back. One more breath in here. Let it out. Then coming back up, hands connect back to your lower back. Lift up. Press back to child's pose. Feel the shift in your body. Notice how it feels to go backwards and then back forwards, that little release. And then you can shift yourself forward. We'll come down onto our backs. Good. And then draw your knees in. Let's rock from side to side, releasing your lower back. And then drop your feet down. We'll set up for bridge pose. So your feet are grounding down. And then start to press your lower back into your mat. Just feel your spine connect all the way down, right from where your head meets your spine, down to your hips and your sits bones. The tail of your spine is connected. Good, now start to press into your feet. Press into the back of your shoulder blades, and now lift your hips up. Good. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Good. Really activate your legs. You're using your legs, your glutes. Take another breath. Press up even more, and then stay right there for your exhale. Another big inhale. Exhale, lower down. Kid windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Then draw your knees in. Good. Let's wrap our arms around our legs. Give yourself a big hug. All right, squeeze everything in. And then you can release. Cross your right leg over your left. And let your knees drop over to the left side for a spinal twist. Your gaze might go over your right shoulder. Maybe your eyes close down. Good. Come back through center. And switch sides. As we progress to the beginning of our class, we don't do a lot of touch with our dogs because a lot of times when we're moving and we're excited and, breathing and doing our postures and poses, our dogs will get excited if we touch them, right? It gets them more stimulated and more ramped up. You can come back to center, take a full body stretch. So in the beginning of our class, we just ask our dogs to lay down. Right? And if your dog got up, you ask your dog to lay down. In a few moments, we'll transition to the dog part of class where we do put our hands on our dog and we practice calm and really thoughtful touch with our dogs. You can roll over onto your favorite side. And just pausing for a moment, noticing the shift in your body from your yoga practice. Notice the change from when you first came to your mat. What's different? And very slowly, press yourself up to a seated position on your mat. All right, we're going to move into the calm touch and body handling portion of our class. So we're going to make some adjustments here so that everybody at home can see dogs and be able to follow along, not only with the instruction that I'm giving, but also visually be able to see what's going on with these guys. So we'll have you turn, students that are here, we'll have you turn with your dogs to face the back of our room. And what you want to do is get into a comfortable position with your dog. You've just done all this wonderful yoga to open your body, to lengthen your spine, and really open your heart space. So you don't want your dog too far from you where you have to reach. So you know how Chelsea has Zeppy right next to her. We have Sarah here with Tori, really close to her body. She doesn't have to reach too far to work on this. And Chris is getting Dublin into position on his mat where he's right in front of him. So that's usually the best way to do it. Some of you at home may find that your dog gets excited with this. So you'll start, we'll take little breaks in between each time we handle our dogs. But you may do just the beginning and then watch. And then as you progress through this and practice this with your dog, you can do more and more. But we're going to go through the calm touch today with our dogs and demonstrate why we do it and the way we do it and how it benefits your dog. So you'll start with 2 fingers in your dog's collar, right? And that becomes a cue or signal that we're about to begin handling our dogs in this really structured, calm way. So 2 fingers in your dog's collar. And then with your free hand, you're going to take your hand right behind your dog's ears, where your dog's head meets the rest of their body. Good. And let your hand land, so you'll pause for just a second there. Good. And then really slowly, you're going to move all the way down your dog's spine until you reach your dog's base of their tail. Once you get to your dog's tail, you're going to pause. And then you're going to release your hand, release your dog's collar. Let's do that again. 2 fingers in your dog's collar. Your other hand lands behind your dog's head. Even slower this time. Really slow. When you move slowly, this gives your dog time to register where your hands are going. Right? When we come at our dogs with really fast movements, they don't really know where our hands are going because by the time your hands are on your dog, right, they're like, I don't know what that was. They whip around, they go reach back for you. So what this is creating is this really slow, trusting touch that your dog knows, oh, I know exactly where your hand is going. It's going all the way down to my tail. And you don't have these big reactions of like, uh-oh, what's happening to my body? Especially for dogs that are excited by touch or really don't like being touched or are nervous with it. Building this trust is so important. Let's do that again. One hand under your dog's collar. And then you're going to go all the way down your dog's back. And it is totally fine if your dog is standing up, if your dog is moving around. Right? Especially if this is the first time you've done this. Your dog is like, what are we doing? You have never touched me this slowly before. Right? So your dog might be a little bit like, I don't know what's going on. Right? But each time you practice this, even if you do this every day, just 3 sweeps down your dog's back at a time at the end of your day, your dog will begin to understand that every time you touch the collar and do this long sweep, that you're looking for this calm, relaxed behavior from your dog. All right, we'll pause for a moment. We're going to move on. So each time we do this body handling, we start with 1 sweep down our dog's back, maybe a few sweeps to let them know this is where we're headed. And then we move on. So you're going to gently touch your dog's collar. You're going to bring your hand behind your dog's head, right where their ears are, and you're going to go all the way down until you find your dog's shoulder that's most available. And you're going to bring your hand down your dog's shoulder just to your dog's elbow. When you get to your dog's elbow, you're going to pause. Good, and then release your hand. Let's do that one more time. Touch your dog's collar. Gentle sweep, a little bit of pressure all the way down to your dog's elbow. Pause. And then release your hand. We'll take a little break. Pause for a moment. Good. Notice if there's a shift in your dog. Right? And if your dog likes being touched like Zeppy does, she's just like, her eyes are closed. She's like, this is what I've been waiting for 45 minutes. Finally. Right? And in class, we have a little bit of variation. We have dogs that have different ages. So Zeppy's a little over 2. Tori in the middle here is still a puppy. She's 10 months old. So Sarah does a little bit of the body handling and then, just hangs out. So you just do what you can and where your dog is with you and at that day. And we have Dublin and Chris here as well. And Dublin loves being with Chris, so he's just happy to be with him. So he can be seated and Chris is just doing the body handling. It's so important that even if your dog is getting up and moving, that you stay still remaining calm, right? That you're steady, you're not changing what you're doing. Even if your dog is getting up and down, you're just doing this repetitive motion and staying really calm. And remembering to breathe. So as you're doing this, sometimes you focus so much on your dog that you forget you're holding your breath. So making sure you're still breathing. So it might be good just to take a big breath in and then let it out and continue. All right, we're going to do a little bit more. So bring your hand right to your dog's collar. 1 long sweep all the way down. You're going to find your dog's hip that's either facing up or that's closest to you. And you're going to go down your dog's hip all the way to your dog's knee. And when you get there, you'll pause. And then release your hand. We'll do that one more time. So when we begin this, we don't necessarily go all the way down to our dog's feet or to the tip of our dog's tail. The center of your dog's body is less sensitive, and as you work further out, your dog gets more and more sensitive. So a lot of times dogs will let you do this, but then they don't like their feet touched or their nails done. And that's when you get this kind of frantic panic response. So what we're building is a trust here. So as you bring your hand down your dog's hip to their knee, eventually, if you're practicing this every day, every other day, you'll go a little further, a little further, a little further, maybe down your dog's leg, and then touch their foot, and then release. Right? So that's what we're working on, is we start at the base of your dog's body, which is their spine, right? That center area, and then we work our way out. As you progress through TAO dog yoga classes, we also start doing some canine stretching. So those stretches match this body handling. So first we do this, we get our dogs calm, and then where our hands move and how we do the stretching mirrors this. So what you're working on now is the foundation to then begin to do stretching with your dog. which is so important with these dogs. Here we have guide dogs and guide dogs in training. The stretching is so important because they'll be working, but it's also important for your pet dogs at home who you're very active with or do other types of things like agility with. It's really important to stretch your dog before you go do these active things. So it's a great tool for guide dogs and pet dogs. And also building your relationship with your dog. Building your connection. And creating this part of your relationship where you're calm and relaxed. We spend so much of our time with our dogs doing and getting their exercise need met and training them. And we very rarely ever sit like this or teach our dogs to settle while we're active doing something else. So that's really what TAO Dog Yoga is about. And the essence of what we're trying to accomplish in our classes and online classes as well, and with you guys all at home this morning. All right, we'll set up for our Shavasana. So moving nice and slow. Your dog is nice and calm and relaxed. I want you to move in such a way, as slow as you can, and you can either stay seated with your dog or you can come down onto your back. And especially if this is your first time with your dog doing this, just having this experience of stillness and calm with your dog. Your dog may get up, your dog may get silly and lick your face and jump all over you. It's all good. It's all good. So letting yourself settle in. Let your body get heavy on your mat. Let go of your breath. Let go of any effort. And just come to stillness. Before you start moving, I just want you to feel the connection you have with your dog. You're taking a moment to acknowledge trying something new. If it's yoga for you for the first time, most of us, it's the first time we've ever done dog yoga. And it takes courage to step out of your comfort zone and try yoga, and then bring your dog and try something new with your dog. So I find the people I meet that come to classes or that I meet through online or through Facebook that share their experience with their dog. This group of people practicing TAO Dog Yoga really love their dogs. enough so that you're stepping out of your comfort zone to build your relationship, deepen your connection, which not only will grow on your mat here, but you take into your daily life with your dog. The shifts that happen here, the changes that happen here, will follow you. Will change how you think about training, how you walk your dog. Remembering to stop, remembering to breathe. So come back to your breath. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Invite back some movement into your body. It might just be your fingers and toes. And you can come into some bigger movements. Any stretches that feel right. Good. And as your movements get bigger, we'll meet up and seated. You can roll over to one side, transition yourself back up to seated on your mat. Draw your hands together in front of your heart. Let's take a breath together. Inhale. And exhale. And bring your thumbs up to third eye. Good. Bow down. And together we say, Namaste. Namaste to all of you joining us at home. Be well, stay healthy, stay safe. You will see us here and find us here every Saturday for the next upcoming weeks at 9 a.m. So join us.